just a little bit under the weather today, but I wanted to speak to my hometown, Peekskill, because there's some things been going on there, for quite a while, and I know that Daryl Davis has been on top of much of it, and it's more than a one-man job. But I keep hearing about this thing of turning the canteen into a boys and girls club. Um, the makeup of the community, which the largest portion of the community resides in Bowman Towers, which is another issue. Um, that the parents, the families of the children in Bowman Towers are not going to be able to afford the fees associated with the Boys and Girls Club. So it's another aspect of gentrification, and it's a serious thing. I grew up in Bowman Towers, mostly a little bit in Dunbar Heights, and I know what it's like. And I always think of the the roads that I've traveled, where my roots come from, and I look at it and I just see some gentrification tricks that are steadily on the way. And I know you've had two black mayors. Well, you've got the second one now in a row, and I don't know what their agendas are. I'm not there to really be able to see it on that micro level that some of you all are able to see and witness and understand. And I think that we need to be mindful as we mature, coming into our manhoods and coming into some political maturity, to understand the needs of the communities from which we come from and make the best interests of those communities the concern, and not so much what developers want and people who want to gentrify us out of areas. And the main thing that I see that doesn't take place, this is nationwide, because I live in North Carolina right now, and I see the same thing here. Same thing with the Boys and Girls Club, recreation departments that only look out for white children and have sports for white children, and very little uh, interaction with people of color or black people. I stand up for black people, because we've been pushed to the back so long, and it's just been a constant thing in my lifetime, that I've seen and witnessed. And it started in Peekskill, and don't get me wrong, I love Peekskill. I learned a lot of good things growing up in Peekskill, but there's the root of systemic racism is in Peekskill also, and people can be in denial about that. But what I would like to see is people who can forego taking money, and doing what's good and what's right for the cultural enrichment of black people in Peekskill, particularly in Bowman Towers. The majority of the people in Bowman Towers are black people, the families, the children. And what kind of education and educational programs are you setting up? The Boys and Girls Club is going to be minimal. They're just another part of that prison, from a school to prison pipeline. Because they're not offering any cultural identity for the people that come in there, and it's something that we should be doing for ourselves. We really should be doing for ourselves, and the Democratic Party has been real trifling on this over the years, and that needs to change, especially when we elect people who look like us. We need to expect and call them to task to meet the needs of our communities, not taking anything away from anybody else's community, but seeing to it that we can enhance our youth, educate them, and help them to understand the need to develop concerns of our own for ourselves, to build businesses in our communities that we can support. And those things are more important to me than anything that the schools are prepared to teach. You hear them arguing and fussing about not wanting to teach racial critical race theory, whatever they want to call it. It's just a matter of just deny your existence, push you to a place where you're out of sight, out of mind. And this is what's happening in Peekskill, and it's not just Peekskill, it's throughout Westchester County, it's throughout New York State, it's throughout the United States, and a lot of it is throughout the world, because that's becoming the common denominator of what others will unite around, is to push us and marginalize us and criminalize us into positions that we always have to struggle to exist. And we're going to continue to do this, but we can't do this with our participation. You can't, you're not going to take us and use us to get our votes. We elect you, put you in position, and you don't stand up for us. Those days are coming to a drastic end. And that's not just here in North Carolina, but that's in Peekskill too. And that's in Westchester County, and that's in New York City. And I know you got some folks that may look like they're going to be doing some things for you, but if you look closely, just like in Peekskill, what they got in there with the housing authority, and I'm following this closely, and I'm also supporting Daryl Davis in his efforts to block these things from happening. So I know you're going to say, well, you don't live here, so it's not your concern. I came from there. And the same shit that they were doing when I was there, they used to tell me that I should accept being spit on, being called a nigger. Just tell them sticks and stones may break my bones, but that's some bullshit too, because a man has to stand up for his dignity, and sometimes you have to fight for your dignity, and so that's what's happening. And when you take the canteen, the Walter Corney gymnasium, when you take those things and you start putting them into the hands of other people to dictate to our youth how they should function and how they should conduct themselves, you're giving away our freedom. You're giving away our legacy, because if we don't have a lot of money, we can at least pass along to our children knowledge and understanding. I'm going to be doing some more work on this with Daryl in the future, and y'all going to be hearing from me, because this shit can't keep going on the way it's going on. And Peekskill is small enough to be the catalyst for a new beginning in the development of Black people in America and in Peekskill. I'll talk to you again. Peace.